go back here to the plan a little bit.
All right.
And I want to ask you how all these places you've been moving around interfere or influence, more is more accurate.
I like interfere, that's good.
It's kind of intrusive, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Interfere,
sometimes you have no choice.
Yeah, how all these different places influence in your creative process or musician grow.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realize the kind of influences that they had until I started working with, I guess, people who were aware of the difference between, say, like the culture of rapping here, the style of rapping here, compared to the musical influences that you get in Brazil and Bolivia and places like that. So one of the effects growing up was samba music and carnival, and the sort of pattern, that sort of patterns that were coming out in the samba. And when I started making beats, I'd always make them with that sort of triplet flow, and and also a kind of like an offbeat on the snare.
You still have that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can talk.
But now it's like now I know why I've got it. Then I just did it.
You use it on purpose. It's part of your cards. It's part of the that's cool. Man.
So I guess especially with, I like things that go on beat and then go off beat. So where you've got a pattern where you rock it straight and you hit the snare, and then for the second one, instead of hitting the snare again in the same place, you shift the pattern off. Forward or backwards.
Yeah, and you go off time.
Exactly. And then bring it back on again.
That's cool. That's cool. So, your previous work, you say you do a mistake, take you 10 years to do.
Yeah.
What's the name of that?
So it's an album called On, and it's under Jon Clark. My name is JONCLARK.
Okay.
And
I'll put all the links on everything to find it.
Nice. And I guess it's wild. One of the things that's really interesting is listening back. I can hear a kind of an excitement and an energy of being young, and it's sort of like, here I am kind of thing, And one of the things I've found as I've gotten older is this sort of relaxedness sort of settled into me, and that's what I like to listen to as well. I like a sort of tone in a music, where I almost find it more musical when my tone, especially, is more relaxed and more chilled. Because then it lets the music do its thing. It's more atmospheric and less desperate, let's say, So
the kids are screaming too much.
Yeah, for sure. But it's
like they go one octave, one higher. You know what I mean?
11, 12, 13 is.
Let's go down to like a normal conversational tone, and let's see how you do with that.
But there's a power in blasting as well, and I definitely do. Especially like freestyling. Sometimes the excitement.
But it's a control there. It's not all the time. You go back and forth from that state to another. You want to emphasize this.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
It's all about that.
Yeah, I found that as time went along, I started just, I guess, becoming more and more familiar with rhythm to the point where I kind of leave more spaces as well, and when I was writing lyrics, and and the space is everything, because when you start a verse, you have everyone's attention. They're like, oh, new voice coming in, and then you're just like da, and you machine gun for 3 minutes, and some people are just like, shut up, and even though you might be saying the best thing in the world, you might be talking about the meaning of life. It doesn't matter because it's that same voice drawn in. So leave gaps, put spaces, and rhythmic spaces, because the absence, it says rhythmic as the presence.
It's part of the music too. It's silent. It's important as well. For me, it was. I totally get that, because for me, I get that point. Some point in my 27, I believe, 26. For me, it was a life changing change in my rap, totally. When I start to introduce the silence in the lyrics, like I start writing the silence in the paper.
Yes.
Before that, I just was intuiting where it's gonna come. Sometimes I move it around, so you move around all the pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes you get out of breath, so you have to put a new one and never been
Yeah,
there.
surprising.
And all the lyrics you come later have to go more compressed, or all the bars start to falling apart. You know what I mean? So I started like I totally remember when I started putting like a silence, writing the silence down as part of the process of writing. So I have my breathing totally under control.